Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about the Washington Commanders having a top 30 meeting with Alabama running back Brian Robinson and also Florida cornerback Kaiir Elam. So we're going to talk about that and why I think the Washington Commanders will be taking a running back in this draft. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content on the road to 7,500 subscribers. So please help me get there. Also, follow the Twitter, first link in the description, and hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Now, let's get right into the video. Also guys, let me know down below in the comments if you guys want to see another video with a list of every single player we have met with so far. I did one about a week ago and I would be happy to do another one, so just let me know down below in the comments section. So the last week or so, Washington has been meeting with a lot of running backs, and the newest one to the list is Alabama running back Brian Robinson, and that meeting is happening today, or maybe already happened. So, I mean, let's look at the list of running backs they've already met with. So, Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker, both of the, likely top backs. Those guys are probably going to be taken around the second round, and Isaiah Spiller, and now Brian Robinson. So 4 players with their top 30 visits, or if you want to call them 30 visits. And if you don't know what that is, basically each team has 30 players that they can have come to their facility and have meetings with. And yeah, they have 30 of those visits. So having 4 running backs for these top 30 visits is, that's a big deal. It shows that they are interested in these running backs, and a lot of them are the top guys for sure. And personally for me, I don't think taking a running back at 47 is a good idea, because again, the running back position is, you can get great value in the later rounds of the NFL draft, in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. You look at last year, the second best running back was Elijah Mitchell. Year before, best running back was James Robinson, who was undrafted. I mean, Chris Carson. There's so many good running backs that were not drafted in the 1st or 2nd round, and I think you can get some good value in the late rounds, and it's definitely a replaceable position for sure. And also, I think we have more pressing needs than linebacker, than running back. I think receiver, linebacker, like those needs are definitely more pressing. And in the second round, that's just a little bit too rich for me. Unless we trade back in the 1st round and get some more assets, even then, I'd rather not take a running back. But real quick, let's talk about Brian Robinson before we get into some of the other running backs. So obviously, Brian Robinson played for Alabama, kind of a bigger back, 6'1", 225 pounds. And I think that's what Washington needs to complement Antonio Gibson, because I like Gibson, but he's had injury issues. So if he goes down, again, we need someone that can take over that load, get 10 to 20 carries, and Patterson might be that guy, but we don't know for sure. So I think bringing in Brian Robinson would not be a bad idea. 6'1", 225, that bigger back, power back, in my opinion, is what we need, because we already have McKissick, who's that, pass catching back, sometimes acts as a receiver, and this guy would be that complement to Antonio Gibson. Played for 4 years with Alabama before, this season where he really took off, where he had 271 carries for 1,343 yards with 14 touchdowns. And he was pretty productive the first few years of his career. It's just that he wasn't getting as many carries, but his, yards per carry were still pretty good. And he had, 6 touchdowns in 2020, 5 touchdowns in 2019. So I haven't watched any really film on Brian Robinson. The only thing I've watched is some highlights, and got to see him a little bit when I was watching film of Jameson Williams. But I think he is a solid back, and this is a guy that is very likely not going to go in the 2nd round, probably not going to go in the 3rd round, likely will go in that 4th to 5th round range. We don't have a 5th round pick for now. Maybe we'll trade back and get one, but the 4th round might be a good spot for Brian Robinson. Still a little bit early for me to take a running back, but I wouldn't mind if they took one, because I think he is a solid pick in the 4th round. So he's got speed for a big guy. 4.53 40-yard dash is pretty good. Vertical jump is 30 inches. That's okay, not the best. And some things I've noticed from watching Brian Robinson, he's definitely quicker than you'd think he would be. For being 6'1", 225 pounds, he's pretty quick, and that 40-yard dash shows that. And able to break a bunch of tackles, and he's pretty shifty as well. Pretty shifty for a big guy. Not the best pass catcher. I mean, he can do good things with the ball in his hand, but his hands aren't the best. He might drop some passes in the NFL, but again, I don't think that's a huge need for Washington right now, because Gibson is solid at the pass catching back, and we have a McKissick who is great as a pass catching back. And also, Carson Wentz doesn't really throw to his running backs that much, so it's not a huge need. So that's why if we did draft a running back in the second, I would like Kenneth Walker a little bit more than Breece Hall, because I think Kenneth Walker is a better pure runner, and that is what we need right now. And let's read some of the draft profile, on him from Lance Zierlein. So his NFL comparison is Chris Carson. Talked about him a little bit earlier, some of his strengths, built like a linebacker, able to take on a heavy workload, and that's what we want. If Gibson goes down, we want someone that can take 15, 20 plus carries, and he's going to do solid. He's a big back, able to run over people, break some tackles, even make some guys miss, and he's pretty quick as well. Adequate looseness to transition from cut to cut. Fast feet for a big back, has build-up speed as an outside runner, breaks tackles and grinds down the front with power, and you guys can see some of the other things there. Some of the weaknesses, running styles begging for durability concerns, upright runner with a large strike zone to attack. Let's see some of the other things. Inconsistent processing causes indecisiveness as an inside runner, lacks ability to downshift and recalibrate his pathway, and hands are likely to disappoint as a pass catcher. But overall, I think you can get him in that fourth round, 4th to 5th round range, and I would like him in the 4th round. I think he's a solid back and kind of what we need. I like a bigger back in terms of what Washington needs, and he fits that mold for sure. And yeah, I think this would be a solid pick, and I do think Washington will take a running back. I hope not in the 2nd round, but I mean, they're looking at all the top guys, so they definitely could be interested, and they're definitely interested in drafting a running back. I just don't know if they're willing to get one in the 2nd or 3rd round. If they don't have a 3rd round pick right now, but let's say they trade back in the 1st round, they could add another 2nd and maybe another 3rd, or add a 3rd as well, and that makes it more likely. But we will see about the running back position. But they met with one of the top corners in this class, Kaiir Elam, who plays for Florida, and he's not going to go, very likely going to go in the top 20 or top 25, but he's probably going to be a late 1st, early to mid 2nd round pick. Like, obviously the top corners in this class, Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley Jr., then you look at like McDuffie, Andrew Booth, and then it's, the next guy is probably Kaiir Elam. I might be missing a guy or two, but he's in that range, and Washington could use another DB. I don't think it is a huge priority, but they definitely need some depth there. But 2nd round might be a little bit too early for a cornerback, but if they really like a guy, I would definitely not be upset if they took a corner. I'm not sure. I think Kaiir Elam is more of an outside guy. They do need a slot corner though, because Kendall Fuller, he can play in the slot, but last year he was not good in the slot, and when he transitioned to the outside in the 2nd half of the season, he was very, very good on the outside. William Jackson's an outside corner, and so is Benjamin St. Juste. So I do think they need a slot corner. If they can get one in that 2nd to 4th round range, I definitely would not mind it. But it looks like Kaiir Elam's more of an outside guy, about 6'2", 196 pounds. Okay, so let's take a look at his stats real quick. You look at his 6 interceptions over his 3-year career, three interceptions in his freshman year, 2 interceptions in his sophomore season, and 1 interception this past year in his junior year. And I haven't watched anything really on Kaiir Elam, just things I've heard and read, so I'll be reading you guys the scouting report on him from Lance Zierlein. So again, 6'2", 196 pounds. He's a burner, 4.39 40-yard dash. He has that great length that you want in an outside corner, and has the speed as well. So, if we drafted him, he's probably going to be an outside guy. And I don't know how that would fit here. Probably wouldn't start right away. And you want your starter to, you want your 2nd round pick to start in his rookie year, but who knows? We'll see. Corner depth is always needed, and we don't really have any. We have William Jackson, Kendall Fuller, and then after that, Danny Johnson, Benjamin St-Juste, who, struggles with injuries in his rookie year. So we will see. You guys will read his, scouting report real quick. So Elam is the next up in a long line of talented Florida cornerbacks, but he failed to play his best football in his final collegiate season. So pretty similar to LSU cornerback Derek Stingley Jr., who had an elite 2019 season, but his play dropped off the last couple years. He is patient and strong to mirror and impede releases, but inconsistent, staying connected to the early stages of the route. He plays with good awareness in zone and has the twitch and length to make plays on the throw when squatting in space. He was beat on deep patterns against Alabama, Arkansas, and Georgia, which might have led to excessive grabbing and overall lack of trust in his technique on the 2021 tape. He plays big at the catch point but smaller in run support. Elam has early cornerback 3 and eventual CB2 value as a press and zone corner, so kind of versatile in that sense. Strengths, desired length, or size, length, and strength for press man. We talked about that earlier. That's what you look in corner when you're drafting. Obviously, besides the tape, you look at the measurables, and two most important traits are length and speed. So he has both of those things, running a 4.39 40-yard dash, well balanced with ability to crowd and stuff to release. Patient feet rarely fall for release fakes, able to swivel hips and pursue with fluidity. Mirror shifting routes with basketball agility, doesn't really bite against double moves, and squeezes deep sideline routes with physicality. You guys can see some of the other things right here. Weaknesses: loses his leverage unnecessarily, allows a little too much clearance early in his route. Inconsistent digesting route combinations, too much panic and grab in his 2021 tape, doesn't play to his size in run support duties. And sources tell us, I just think he got a little lazy with his technique in 2021, but he will be fine. I like him. So we'll see, but getting him in a second, definitely wouldn't be upset with that, because we do need some more corners out there. And if we get a receiver in the first and a corner in second, Elam is very good value, because he's going to be he could go as early as in that first round with to the Buffalo Bills, maybe the Kansas City Chiefs. There's teams in that last 10 picks of the first round that could definitely use a corner. So we're getting good value at 47 if we were to draft him. Would I trade up for him? No, but if he's there at 47 and we took him, I would be excited about the potential, because it is a premium position. Cornerback is a premium position, and we could always use some more cornerbacks. So let me know what you guys think about these meetings, and if you guys want to see a video going over every player that we have a meeting scheduled with. It's going to start to get crazy the next couple weeks. I'll have a mock draft next week, and then I'll probably have a final mock draft the week of the draft. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Peace, guys.